And so what's your plans for the future? So I know you just landed the head of a podcast situation, right? It's a kind of a big deal, the whole FIFA. Talk about that a little bit.
So, reiterating Pro Clubs Nation, the league that I play for mainly, I recently acquired a position of head of their podcast. Their podcast had kind of been on pause for a while as they were looking for somebody new, and as of this past Wednesday, I took on that position. Essentially, what I'll be doing is, diving deep into, or what I wanted to do is diving more deep into like the play styles, like how are teams playing, what like the strategies that teams are using to be successful or not be successful, highlight players that are playing well, highlight teams that are playing well, and just kind of diving deep into like the statistics and breaking down the game. And that's really what I enjoy doing, like sitting there watching film, showing highlight clips, explaining the game.
And so where are you going to get these videos from? Is it going to be all from just your league or leagues around the whole platform?
So the podcast is the Pro Clubs Nation podcast. So it'll be just from that one league.
Okay. So Pro Clubs Nation is specific to the one league. Got it. Okay. I thought it was. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So, wow. And so how long has that podcast been around?
I want to say for about four or so years now. It's kind of been sporadic in the sense of the host of the podcast has changed several times over those past 4 years. And so the dynamic has kind of changed here and there, but it's like just centered around the league and bringing stories of, the rise and fall of teams. And because the league itself has been around since like 2014 or 15.
Wow.
So there's a lot of these players in this league that have, stories to tell, that have been in the league, see it changed. You see teams that are winning titles back to back to back and all of a sudden fall off the side of the earth because of, management change or whatever it is.
Player change. So, do you guys ever have any new teams that come into these leagues and teams fall off? Is there anything like that? Is there league expansion ever? Or is it always just the same squads?
Yeah, so right now, currently, the league is split into 3, basically, divisions. You can think of them as divisions, but we call them Super League, which is the top 20 teams, and then you have a league below it, League 1, and then another League 2 below that as well. And each of these leagues has 20 teams, all obviously with, full rosters on each team. So if you take that, that's 60 teams right there that you can get promoted to, Super League or relegated down to League 1. And, we have 34 game seasons that, is just like real life. You win 3 points, goal differential. We keep track of stats, pass percentage, tackles.
I'm exhausted.
Won all of it.
Yeah, can I jump in right here quick?
Yeah, please.
I saw Junior working on this podcast, and this is how he's got screenshots from a game, like 20 screenshots, and then he's writing a paragraph underneath each screenshot. Jeez. I'm like, holy shit. Yeah.
Damn, man. And so is this going to be on its own? Does it have its own Twitch channel? Can you plug the site, or how can any FIFA members keep up with this?
Yeah, so hold on, let me I can find it here just to make sure exactly. It should
Pro
be
Clubs Nation.
Pro Clubs Nation TV, I believe.
That's pretty intense. You got to think you're looking at like 600 to 700 guys or gals right there interested in just one league. I mean, that's pretty intense, man. And you're kind of the head of the podcast for that. That's badass. How did you land that? Did they approach you, or did it just kind of fall in your lap?
So what they ended up doing, and this league isn't monetized or anything, but they do have a very dedicated group of admins and leadership that is very organized in the ways that they do things. So what they did was put out an application, questionnaire style, asking interest, what did you like or not like about the previous podcast? What is your experience? Why do you think that you fit this role? Really diving deep and wanting, heavy responses.
Yeah.
Very serious.
Right. And so, there's this whole vetting process that they go through and read my application. And then the head admin reached out and said, hey, I really enjoyed your application and it lines up with what we're wanting to do. So we'd like you to come take over. And I was like, hell yeah.
Dude, that just gave me the chills, man. That's awesome, man. Way to reach out and shoot a shot, dude. I mean, that's basically what it comes down to a lot of times, is just shooting that shot. And I'm guilty of not being able to do that. I'm 43 and I've never shot my shot, and it's probably why I don't have any kids to this day. But wait, different podcast. Anyway, No, but that's cool, man. So you're killing the FIFA scene, and that's only going to expand. Do you have any goals for that moving forward, expansion wise, or what's the plan for not only that but your Twitch channel as well?
So, okay, in two separate ways. It's for pro clubs. My goal is to help the community itself be, you know, how to help the community like grow as a whole, to the point where EA becomes more involved with us and will further the progress that they put towards pro clubs.
Okay.
And I really just want it to become an actual esport. I see games like 2K or NHL where, you know, they have their actual teams, like esports teams for NBA
Sure.
teams, and that's where I want FIFA esports to get to where like FC Dallas has a team for
Right.
pro clubs, and you know Barcelona has teams for pro clubs, and that's where I want to get pro clubs to.
I love that. That's a great idea. And to have teams represent teams, and it sounds like you already have the infrastructure to have an esports community within your pro nations already. You already have 20 super tier teams, or however you're calling them.
Right.
And you know, so, and that gives incentive for the middle tier or the bottom tier guys to get up into that esports scene. That's brilliant, man. I hope that you should really start pushing that angle. I don't know how you would do it, but it sounds like you got the idea. That's all you need most of the time.
Right. And as far as growing, where I want to be with Twitch, it's more so about building the community, right? Building not just it's beyond me. I'm just here to be like a link to people, for people to know about pro clubs, to know about, you know, these other communities that we're a part of, and I'm just along for the ride.
Yeah.
If I end up becoming successful because of this, then great.
Yeah.
But it's more about the awareness and the sense of community that we can bring.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, you got the right approach, man, for sure. I'm excited for it. And so you dabble into Call of Duty a little bit. You said PGA Tour, but those are just to kind of get away from the FIFA grind, right? Or do you have a focus on those at all?
No, yeah, they're just kind of to get away from the FIFA grind.
Yeah.
Anybody that plays FIFA knows, like, it can be frustrating at times. You know, if you play it a lot, and then you just kind of gotta get a break sometimes. That's all it is.
Yeah, and what position? You don't play goalkeeper, I noticed. When you play, what position do you play?
Oh, I am very much like an anchor center back.
Anchor
So
center.
pure defensive-minded tactical genius is what I refer to myself as.
Oh,
shit.
Man, look at this guy.
My bad.
And I got to tell you, I watched him play a game yesterday, and the dude saved on his own 2 goals on the backside. 2 goals, and they were late in the game. You guys ended up coming away with a tie, but both of those goals were saved directly and only because of you. And I noticed on one of them, a guy vacated his position and you took his position. Like you noticed it and rotated over and even made the goal saving play. So you got it going on, man. I love watching you play FIFA. I can't wait to see you to grow. So guys, if you guys are FIFA nuts and love soccer, you missing soccer, Taco Jr., man, this guy's got it going on. Love to see it. So let's slide over to Taco Senior now. Taco Senior, why did you say, you know what? I think I might be able to do something like this. And what made you take the leap to try to do the Twitch thing yourself?
So obviously, I've been a big part of Papa Vaz's community and hanging out and just being part of the group. And there was a couple of people that are like, "Are you going to stream? Because you know you got Taco Jr. and I mean, are you going to do it too?" And I was like, "I don't know," until I saw a guy named Ned Buttercup.
Oh,
Yes.
The legend.
I saw Ned Buttercup and I thought, you know what? There might be something to this because I'm not a good gamer. Everybody knows. I joke about it all the time. I'm trying to crack the top 1 million of the MLB show, and I don't play ranked seasons. I think I'm 2 and 4 in ranked seasons with my ratings like 128. So terrible. But I do love playing March to October, and I like playing offline showdowns and that kind of thing. But I saw Ned, and I thought, he's got a little bit of a personality, and I'm kind of a little bit of a personality. And I thought, why not? Why not give it a shot? So that's how the first Saturday night stream came to happen.
yeah. And do you guys game together though? So do you guys ever, and before the streaming thing, did you guys caught it up or play FIFA together? Was it something like that, or were you just watching, Pops?
I was just watching. I think it's very rare. Every once in a while, we would play Madden together,
Right. Yeah.
but it was very rare that we game together. Very
And
rare.
My dad always made it a point to be like, "Yeah, so I'm getting on this game for the first time in a year and a half, and I still beat you."
So how cool is this? I mean, in what, a short amount of time. So say March is when you guys kind of got this whole thing spinning. How close of you guys? Have you guys gotten any closer? Do you feel in this short amount of time? I mean, you guys are already a close family, but has it brought you guys even closer?
I think what it's done is that, I mean, we've always been really close, and I think it's brought us more closer together, like in some of the smaller things, like the day-to-day things. Like I didn't know about much what was going on with this pro clubs and things like that. So it's brought us a little closer, a little more intimately with the smaller things. So it's been a fun ride. We ordered the computer, we got the computer, we got the monitors, we got the stream decks, it's been a whole adventure together.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. And so I wanted to kind of dabble in on the whole essence of this TacoExistential stream. It kind of started with the block party theme. I want to cover what the block party even means, where it started, what it what the whole taco just seems like a kind of blanketed theme, but there's an actual meaning behind taco. So tell us the meaning behind taco, tell us the meaning behind the block party, and let's go. Let's hear it. We want to hear what it's all about.
So obviously the first time anybody sees my name, they'll say, "Oh, you must love tacos." And that's actually where I think the delete yourself thing came from, because somebody said, "Is it because you love tacos?" And I'm like, "No, it's not because I love tacos. I think everybody loves tacos.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't love tacos, delete yourself." So I think that's kind of how it started. But the name Taco comes from my grandfather. He worked in the trucking industry for about 30 or 40 years, early 70s to early 80s, mid 80s. And when he first started, there weren't any Latino, Hispanic truck drivers. They all worked on the dock. And my grandfather was actually one of the first Hispanic Latinos to actually become a truck driver. And so when you're a truck driver, you have a CB handle. And his CB handle was Taco Kid.
Taco
Kid.
Kid.
That's where the name came from. Everybody called him Taco. And when I first signed on to AOL, it says, "What do you want your screen name to be?" And I said, "Well, there's only one name it can be, Taco Kid."
Taco Kid. And so Taco Jr. ended up taking that name over because of the whole stream thing.
Well, originally Taco Jr. called himself like Little Taco.
Yeah, I was like Little Taco.
And he got older, and I thought I kind of wanted to change my name anyway. So I said, "Let me give you the Taco Kid name. You become Taco Kid." And I dabbled with some other names, and it just one day just hit me. I'm gonna become Taco. I'm gonna evolve into TacoExistential. So.
And what does existential even mean? I don't even think I've ever even heard that word. It's one of the hardest words I've ever seen and heard. But what does it even mean?
It's basically the philosophy of thinking about life. It's a very deep word.
Okay.
And it's just kind of the thought process and understanding what's happening, what's existing. And so I've always been kind of I'm a pretty spiritual guy. I don't really talk about it much on stream and stuff like that. But it's kind of just being aware of existence, and that's what existential means.
Wow, I love that. So TacoExistential is formed, and that's derived from Granddad, who was the first Latino truck driver ever. And I think, Junior, don't you call your chat the Taco Convoy?
I do.
Yes.
Yeah. So proudly carrying on the legacy, and that's what it means to me at this point. Is like the legacy. My dad always tells me stories about our grandfather, and how he was such a jokester, and such a good role model, family guy, and I just wanted to keep it around, and let people understand like where Taco comes from, and it's from my grandfather, who was a truck driver. So I call my subscribers the Tacos Convoy, because a convoy, in definition, is a group of vehicles or like armored vehicles rolling together. So that's what we're doing as a community. We're going together through this journey.
Ah, man, you guys are, like J-Lo says, you're giving me the goosies. You guys, dude, I love it. Everything has a meaning. Everything has a purpose to what you guys are doing, man. That alone is going to set you above and force you guys to succeed instead of just doing what I did and just jumping out in front of traffic and crossing your fingers. You guys have purpose, and I got to tip my cap to that. So the block party. Let's talk about the block party. And doesn't that stem from granddad as well, or does that stem from your dad?
That's from my dad, because when people were asking me, are you going to stream? And I talked to Junior about it, and I thought about it. And I thought, okay, if I'm going to stream, it's not going to be for the gameplay. Let's get that out of the way. And I don't necessarily want to come on like during the week when I'm watching people stream. So I thought, okay, Saturday night, it's a good time. We get together. And because when I was growing up, our house was always the house everybody went to have a party. At the end of the week, everybody brought their families over to our house, and we had a big party. Like Papa, I talk to him all the time. Move the furniture out of the way, start dancing,
Bailandos.
cook, have a good time.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I based the taco block party on.
Nice. And so, what was that like growing up as a kid? I mean, that had to have been normal for you, but imagine not being in that family. And imagine being the kid that gets to go to this thing every weekend, right? Imagine that excitement. Yep. Imagine that build up and anticipation of being that kid of like, I can't wait to go, to the taco's house for the block party. And I'm telling you, you're providing that same vibe on Twitch, man. It's like,
I had a lot of cousins who always came to my house on the weekend because they were like, we want to go to your house, bro, because every weekend it's lit.
Yeah.
And we're hanging out. Your mom and dad are cooking. There's parties. So every weekend, my cousins, I had 2 or 3 cousins that were at my house every weekend.
Mm-hmm. And was this, it was just mainly family, or was it Pop's coworkers? Was it neighborhood families?
It was family. It was neighbors. It was friends. There was always about 15 to 20 couples and their kids at our house on the weekend.
Man, that had to have been so fun for you. Now, did you have any siblings?
I did. I do have
you do?
quite a few. I'm the oldest of like 7.
You're the oldest?
Yes.
Oh, 7. Damn. Wow.
I'm the big brother.
All right. And so let's talk a little bit about the schedules. Taco Jr., what's your schedule like? What your stream schedule, I should say.
So actually, with everything that's been kind of coming up into my schedule as of recently with the podcast, also becoming an admin and having other duties like doing stats and stuff like that, I've had to change it. Going into this next week, I actually haven't announced this yet, so this is all new. Breaking news! Taco Jr.'s new stream schedule is actually going to be from 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Tuesday through Sunday.
Tuesday through Sunday. So you're off Mondays.
Off Mondays.
Okay, awesome. And then what about you, Papa Taco?
My schedule is basically, technically, Friday, Saturday, and Monday. Saturday night's a block party, and I just started streaming at 5 a.m. the breakfast taco. As a matter of fact, I had a real long stream on Friday that lasted about 11 hours. So went into the lunch taco, but 5 a.m. on Friday and Mondays, and then the block party on Saturday.
Block party every Saturday, definitely. I love what you guys got going on. I wanted to talk a little bit about just some real life stuff, nothing too deep, but like for example, this that we kind of talked about it earlier, the whole copyright music thing coming down here on Twitch. Now it's always been an issue. That we're really not supposed to be playing copyright music. They mute your VODs the next day. But it seems like people are starting to get full-on copyright strikes, and they're dating back even. So what do you guys think about that? Is that going to hurt any content for you guys, or are you guys going to be able to make an adjustment, or what do you think about something like that?
I think Junior will probably be a little better off than I am because he's a big FIFA guy and he's more into gameplay. Right. I'm sure there's still some music that we'll be able to play. It's gonna probably affect me a little more because if you guys watch my streams, I talk about music a lot, especially on Saturdays.
Yeah.
The whole stream may be about music, but we'll figure something else out. I got a couple of different a couple of different ideas for next week. We're gonna have a co-host for the first time
Okay.
and interview a few different people. So we'll see what happens.
Let's see. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, what are your feelings on that whole situation? Do you think it's kind of, I mean,
I think that I think it's they should. I think it's a little harsh. You guys that are streaming more than I do. You got music playing. As a matter of fact, you guys are playing songs that I may not have heard in a while, and I think, oh, I'd love this song. How do they know I'm not going to go buy that? How do they know I'm not, following it on Spotify, things like that? So I think it's going to hurt them a little bit.
Yeah, it seems to me it's a little bit of a reach. I mean, it's a group called ASCAP, ASCAP, and what they are is they represent record labels, and they go around even like a dive bar, and if that dive bar is playing a jukebox, they'll say, "Hey man, we need to see your card. You have to have a card to pay for that." And if they don't have it, you can't play that jukebox. You can't have cover bands. You can't have all kinds of stuff, man. So it's a little weird. And the idea is, of course, if I'm playing music here and you have X amount of people watching, they're listening to that music for free. They're not subscribing to that. They're not spinning that music themselves. Therefore, the label doesn't get paid, and that money's supposed to trickle down. But the artist never gets that money. It's all about the label. So it's kind of frustrating. I think it's lame, but all we can do is adjust. So, and how's the quarantine thing treating you guys? As a family, you guys finding yourselves, becoming closer? Are you guys getting frustrated with each other?
I think at first, because a lot of us are not like very homebody, or at least I'm not. I'm not normally like around the house that much. So for being stuck inside all the time at first, like the first week or so was weird, because now we're like all here forcibly around each other, which is different. But eventually it's just like, okay, cool. You get an understanding of like what everyone's doing, and obviously they're working from home. So I gotta, be aware of that.
Yeah.
But not only that, that's the Switch thing has helped with the quarantine.
Right.
It's given us a common goal thing we can work on together. Since we're all here together, we're doing the stream together, and it's really helped us during this time.
Yeah. It's